What is it, folks? It is Infernal Shrines, picked by Scythe Esports. Man, their logo is so tight.
I'm digging it. And this is it. They are one game away from eliminating one of the most seasoned teams out there, veteran players, BlizzCon champions in K1 Pro and King Caffeine, right? Like, that's everybody criticized them. They said, you won Open Division. You get the choice of No Tomorrow and Simplicity. And you chose Simplicity? Well, they're up 3-2 right now, showing why. I guess they just feel their macro style and their general play style matches up a little bit better.
They're playing quite well, let's be completely honest. A lot of synergies within their players. You know, they've played together for such a long period of time. And, you know, we talk about seasoned gamers in Simplicity, but I actually feel like the same sort of thing exists on the side, of course, of Scythe. You know, you got Talking Trees, you got Nesper. Both of these players have just been in the scene for a very long time. They are seasoned in and of itself. But the biggest part about that is the fact that, you know, if we look at like EU, you got Holy Bananas. When you're up 3-0 in a series and you're young guys and you haven't really been in this sort of situation before, nerves can really get to you, and I don't think that variable exists for Scythe.
Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, that was devastating to watch, by the way. Congrats to Roll20, but man, you're right. There's definitely a lot of veteran experience here. Their mental fortitude, absolutely there. And their playstyles, their abilities to provoke a certain playstyle in a draft and then counter it perfectly. We've already seen it. We've seen them play their own game with Chromie and now with Reverse Amp. And I expect to see more of that here on Infernal Shrines.
Most of the times with Infernal, there aren't any super wild drafts that exist, but if there is, this is the game to do it, you know, especially if you have one of those drafts like, of course, we all know like Juice Pirates style, something like that can just like 80% of the time take a win. In this sort of situation, that's when you would pull that card out. Whether or not we see something inventive and wild is up to this draft, but maybe Azul, maybe a double support. What do these teams have for us?
I'm trying to recall. Has Azul been played at all in this tournament yet, Kala?
One time?
Okay.
I think I remember seeing him.
Definitely something we could see here, but it's time for Infernal Shrines, ladies and gents. Tournament point, Crucible point, the chance to become a pro gamer recognized by Blizzard Entertainment.
Beautiful.
You have to win one video game, and you get a salary. You get the honor of being a pro gamer. Oh my.
Amazing. Amazing. And yeah.
We love to see it.
You know, of course, you and I, we come from the Open Division, and seeing Scythe just grow as a team has been so fantastic. And to see them here on match point against these veterans in Simplicity is nothing short of admirable and fantastic. And of course, everyone at home watching, like, you can do this too. You put in the effort, you find the right players, you really grind. You can do this too. Seriously. It's exciting. Open Division is just full of opportunities for people. We've seen that Tyrande banned out, of course the Abathur and Diablo as well. Zainhide getting a lot of respect here with this Diablo.
Yep, for good reason. These bans are pretty darn consistent throughout the games. Medivh, Tyrande, banned out by Scythe. Diablo and Abathur banned out by Simplicity. First pick for Simplicity. Mayev's an option. We've seen them go for the white main early, trying to deny that. The offlane, there's so many options here in the Blaze, the Urel, the Dahaka, so I don't expect to see that. They do go for the white main.
This is one of those maps now where I think you almost have to ban the Uther because it just looks like such a double support composition from Simplicity already lining up. We're seeing the Urel and the Maiev locked in for Scythe Esports. First time they're actually getting this Maiev, and they are devastatingly powerful.
Yes, they are. It is so good. The way that they use the Warden's Cage to force huge fights, paired with Phoenix, paired with whatever they want for the ranged assassin, they make it look disgusting.
I wonder if we actually just see Simplicity recognizing that Scythe know the draft very well, and they just lock in the Uther here. We'll find out. It's the Arthas pickup in the Rainer, so not willing to risk that one right now.
If you've been Lucio, you should have done a lot of Arthas's approach, right? That's something that we've seen them like to run, a lot of that. They have Arthas, who doesn't really engage super hard. Gul'dan seems like he could be so good in the back line. But then, of course, they still have to worry about something like Genji.
Very, very true. There's actually a lot of potential bans. Of course, if you ban the Lucio, it could be banning away from yourself too, especially, yeah, just limiting that support pool might be a problem. And it's actually the Leoric instead.
Focusing on the solo lane options, trying to put them into the Dahaka or Blaze. Doesn't seem like those are bad options, but maybe they're just afraid of that late game power.
Yeah. Knowing that frequently this map will go to the level 20 mark.
Yeah.
If you're a Maiev, you can't use Vault of the Wardens, you can't use your Shadow to get away from these engagements from Leoric. So I actually think that the Leoric ban is heads up. Of course, Simplicity, the obvious ban there would be the Deckard Cane, which is being banned out.
Yep. Okay, support options here. So it is going to be the Gul'dan that I was talking about, but I did not expect to see the Ana.
We're going to see one boosted boy here. Gul'dan and Ana. Very interesting. I actually think I would say I'm one of Ana's biggest haters across analysts in the world.
Really?
Yeah, I thought that she was just absolute garbage for a long period of time just because of the nature of the game. Genji was so prominent. There's so many other dive heroes that were super powerful. It was almost impossible to run her, and that's why we've seen such low success rate with Ana. But now, I think Ana's actually pretty good. Alexstrasza, first time that we've seen her as well with the Malthael. Honestly, Simplicity's draft is terrifying. Double support, white main Alexstrasza.
So, Ana, of course, can shut down the healing completely from Alexstrasza. Big thing to keep track of here. Malthael ends up being the solo lane here. I actually like the option a lot. I think it's going to be very good for them. But I'm surprised they went for no dive. This Gul'dan doesn't have a lot of responses towards it. I was expecting to see a double support situation because of some kind of dive option, but they don't need to commit to it. Ana doesn't have any huge threats. They just go for the Blaze, and that is a super well-rounded team.
Simplicity has 0 dive to get onto the Ana. This is one of the best scenarios I've probably ever seen for an Ana in a draft. You have, as you mentioned, you've got the Biotic Grenade to stop the healing from coming through from this double support. You've also got the Bunker, if that is the choice, of course, to stop the Last Rites from being valuable. But we've seen Tormented Souls run in this very similar situation, so that might be the case as well. But I think that Scythe did an excellent job responding to this draft.
This Ana Gul'dan is going to be really cool because, like you said, when it comes to that nano boost on a Gul'dan, it's absolutely terrifying with the power that exists. And none of those big dive heroes, those big harassers exist in this situation. Granted, you cannot count out Simplicity's composition. It's powerful. They've got a lot of big resources. When it comes to their level 10, it's going to be hard to deal with.
Yep, and you can't ever ignore the fact that double support is just easy to play. So the burden of execution, again, I would have to say, is on Scythe Esports. Can they do it here? The Open Division heroes, one more game needed to secure their ticket into the HGC.
Hosty going to be here playing on Alexstrasza. K1 Pro playing Raynor. King Caffeine on Arthas. White main played by Tiger JK. And Malthael will be Zuna's hero.
On the right, in red, Scythe Esports. We've got Nesper playing the Maiev for the first time here. Talking Trees on Gul'dan. Nintori playing that Ana. Zane Hyde. He's going to be that solo tank Blaze. And then Zergling on the Yrel.
When we talk about being an HGC team, being a top team in the world, one of the things that we're most critical about is how flexible and how diverse you can play. So far, Simplicity has been playing pretty darn similar compositions. A lot of Arthas, a lot of Lucia. This time they're seeing Alexstrasza, but Scythe Esports far from it, mixing things up quite a bit. This Ana coming through. In this moment we saw that Chromie game earlier. Definitely a little bit different than the norm, and honestly, I love to see it.
They have so many different styles that they can run, and if they do somehow make it into the HGC here, like it makes it terrifying for the other teams. It steps up the level of play for the other teams as well, because Scythe Esports can run everything, and they are scary at it. Early game here so far, nothing too crazy happening. Just the traditional wave clear. Perhaps the Khazra camps getting picked up. Nesper starting at that one. Has the Naisha's momentum, so able to clear these camps very, very quickly. On the other side for Simplicity as well, you got the Arthas, you got K1 Pro able to clear this one.
We got to talk about just kind of like some of the talents that exist around this style of play. Echoed Corruption, obviously something we really need to look at as a big power spike, but also Ana. She needs to land those sleep darts to power it up. Get that pierce on the dart, really get the cooldown reduction to make it just more impactful. Also helps out your Q, makes you a better healer. So it's definitely something that Nintori is just going to be throwing them out left and right, trying to confirm the sleeps, not even looking for a follow-up necessarily.
On top of that as well, we got the E build coming through for Alex Straza, so she's going to look to get as much value out of her Dragon Queen as possible. Constant resets on that, or cooldown reduction for it, if she can. There's the sleep on the flank, which is the perfect sleep you could ask for.
Yep, it completely stops King Caffeine from being able to do anything. It's one of the longest slows in the game because if he gets, or stuns in the game because if he gets touched, he wakes up.
So far, just the dance of wave clear. Of course, Gul'dan, one of the best wave clear heroes in the game. So he's just going to be rotating in between that mid and bottom right now. Scythe Esports starting their bruiser camp as well. The first objective of the game is going to be top side. So the bruiser camp, honestly, right now is either used for A, having lane pressure during the objective, or B, just being able to get it going early so that maybe you can take a bit of a wall over your opponents. Not usually what you're able to do, but here we're actually just going to see these camps pretty much just fizzle out on the top lane.
Yeah, we've got pretty similar timing. Actually, both Urel and Malphil holding onto the camp, not capping it. Going to utilize it as pressure in the lane, like you said. Alrighty. So Arthas stayed bottom to finish soaking that lane, making sure they're not behind. It's going to be pretty much identical soak with both Maiev and Arthas in the mid. But without Arthas here for the next moment or so, it does mean that we can see kind of just better positioning set up here for Scythe Esports. And they get the jet propulsion. Actually, the sleep does not connect, but that is some big ghoul damage.
And that's Nintori's value as well, landing that grenade, getting that healing reduction, which is huge. Simplicity with the advantage with their Fallen Shaman, that's going to be giving them some lane advantage, but Talking Tree should be able to stop that from coming super relevant here with just a few casts of that Q. Meanwhile, both of these off-laners just sitting in mid lane. Usually you don't call Arthas in a solo tank scenario the off-laner, but here it is.
Yeah, it's working out so far.
Scythe has completed his level 1 talent already.
Oh, Zergling is taking way too much damage here. Ana heals, shining through, but not enough. As we see Zuna just being able to step up and bully that Urel down. Howling Blast connects here onto Zainhide. He's going to get body blocked in. Is the damage enough?
A little bit more coming through. Zuna stepped up super far, starts tanking the towers, but this is a double support. Again, so forgiving when it comes to just taking damage that you shouldn't have taken in the first place. So Hellspar's getting regulated.
Maiev staying bottom for an extended period of time. Zuna's the one that has the Pale Horse rotating around. Gonna try to match some of this experience soak that was picked up, but it's still actually a lead on the objective for Scythe Esports from the early phase. Seeing the W going down, trying to deny the healing onto Tiger JK works out. 0 heals received as a result of the Dragon form being used, and it's doing a lot of damage onto Zainhide. On top of the rest of this team, the last heal comes through. Oh, he's living.
The counter engage there. Zergling is very low though. Nesper jumping in, but not able to get too much happening here. Zergling is the focus, and Urel goes down. Simplicity picking up another kill here.
Okay, without Urel, this is going to be very difficult to bring him back. Malphil back up here in the top lane as well. Echoed Corruption about half done.
Yep, Zainhide looking for another engagement, and the members of Simplicity are all so healthy right now, especially with this double support setup. This is going to be the first Mortar Punisher of the game, going over to Simplicity. A little bit of an experience lead for Scythe Esports because of Maiev rotating between mid and bottom, being able to push out those waves very, very quickly, in fact, with that Naisha's momentum.
Okay, 7 sleep darts have been hit. So 3 more, and it's going to be at half power with the first upgrade, giving you more range, and the Pierce on the heal.
So just a wall picked up here for Simplicity, nothing further. Hardly even the well. And that's actually a big problem, because when you win the first objective and you're not up in XP, that's just not good. That means that your opponents have structures to take, which is basically experience in the bank. And Simplicity's composition is all based around sitting on that point, getting the objectives, and being able to snowball off of it. So Scythe Esports, the fact that they sent their Maiev mid-bottom to push out those waves was absolutely huge. We're seeing an experience advantage for Scythe despite going down that objective. It's not a massive experience advantage, but it's still
meaningful,
tempo.
Right? You win like you said, they won the objective. They're a little bit behind. You know, so far, it looks like the adaptation from Hosty to play this more E-build with a little bit more control and obviously less emphasis on the healing circle is working out for them. Healing circle already shut down a few times by those Ana grenades, so it's always tough if you build into it.
Zainhide's build, of course, getting that meltdown at level 4 and Crossfire level 7. So this main tank build super interesting. Man, he got that level 1 finished so early. I believe it was like the 3 minutes and 30 seconds mark, and having that unstoppable on your Pyromania is very, very powerful.
Level 10 with the Horrify, Arded Defender, Bunker, all picked up. Level 10 was just reached by Simplicity as well. We do have a bit of a pause here.
And that's our first pause.
Yeah.
Right?
In both days for NA.
Feels good, man.
Nobody's puking in the middle of the game today, so that's good.
Yeah. Oh, I hope not.
Not that we know
That would be rough, yeah. But, state of the game, it's looking good for Scythe. Of course, Simplicity not out of it whatsoever. They have such a strong comp when it comes to contesting that objective. And then if they get some kills plus the objective, they're able to start taking forts from Scythe. Like, you can really push yourself into a huge advantage. Level 10 is a huge part of this game, of course, you know, having all these heroics available. I'm just interested to see how this next team fight pans out.
It's about to get really good in this game, yeah, because obviously the Dragon Form, huge resource, right? We talk about that as a power spike. Could be a cleansing flame game when you consider the way that, you know, Ana's shutdown of the healing works. It's over an extended period of time and provides a ton of sustain. Double support also gives you more aggression as well with that. So I don't know if they really need Circle or the Life Binder in the situation. We'll find out this heroics in just a second as they do commit to the cleansing flame for Alex Straza. Excellent.
And then we talked about this in the draft, but we've got available now the huge combination of the Nano Boost plus Gul'dan. He can just fire off spells so quickly and be so dangerous to the members of Simplicity. So we got to be watching for the spell damage coming through from Talking Trees. Right now, no real map setups from either of these teams, just rotations, waiting for the next objective to spawn, which is going to be the mid.
Yeah, the damage with Hunger for Power at 7 plus Nano Boost, like that is actually going to be so scary to deal with from the Gul'dan. But yes, Blaze not quite getting his target. We do see Malthil working on the hard camp. Should see the rotation up to the top lane from Scythe to grab theirs as well.
Last objective, we saw Simplicity with the advantage with their Fallen Shaman camp. I wonder what's going to happen this time so far. Zuna doing a nice job stalling this one out. No need to cap it yet because the objective hasn't spawned. And of course, the Fallen Shaman, given this nature of where the objective does spawn, will be more effective than last phase. Shrine activating in the next 30 seconds here, folks. The silence.
Yeah, the patience. Lingering around, sipping some tea, watching these fallen shaman that are defeated stare at the ground before they are thrown into combat. Wow, that's a very long hold here for Scythe Esports. They want to have a little bit of a better position on theirs. Basically trying to wait until Simplicity's Fallen Shaman push up to the fort. So that way they should, if this is drawn out, get an advantage. But conceding the early pressure, the early presence around the shrine, 9 snap going over to the side of Simplicity, getting a slight lead.
There's a big sleep as well. We are seeing 9 stacks on that one. 4 Nintori trying to get those up as best as possible. 24 stacks on the Corruption as well. Scythe Esports doing a nice job just zoning off the members of Simplicity, but Simplicity at the same time are getting a lot of these skeletal defenders as well.
They really were able to grab a lot. Scythe bringing it up to 24 quickly. Darrell stealing a bunch with that leap in. Here comes the Dragon Form trying to turn the tides. Desper going in, dropping that cage. We do see Hyperion used as a result, but Gul'dan has everyone stacked in his case. We do see a huge Horrify, and the damage is absolutely disgusting.
Zergling is chasing down King Caffeine, but this is not really a target you can easily kill with double supports, unless, of course, that healing reduction is there. Ana finds the dart, but the cleanse was there as well. This is an Arcane Punisher with Malthale down. Simplicity have no heroics, no reasonable way to defend this. It's going to jump in. They try to find the follow-up. The stun does land on a Tiger JK. The healing reduction as well, but no other damage. And man, the Gul'dan value on that shrine was insanity.
You just saw them all clump up, and then the Hyperion looked dangerous, but it was nothing compared to the Gul'dan damage. 28 stacks in Corruption too, right? It's only going to get scarier as we progress through this game. Sleep Dart it does have that additional pierce on the sleep dart at this point in the game. And wow, okay, a couple forks going down.
Bot was
12
prepped,
to 14.
Yeah. That's huge. Bot was prepped that whole time, so Scythe Esports got a double fort play. Zergling looking for that solo play. Can the amateur player find it? Boom, bang, auto attack, and down goes King Caffeine. Zergling making big plays.
Insult to injury. Right, he's just trying to defend his fort from the fallen shaman camp that was picked up a while ago, and he knows his limits. He's got tons of minions to tank the damage, goes in, finds the kill on Caff. That is big.
Solo kills are infrequent. I get so hyped up whenever we see one, especially considering the context here. Scythe Esports are mopping the floor in this potential final game for themselves. They're pushing in with this Castro camp in bottom lane. Mid is pushed up. Zergling actually, the members of Scythe Esports do need to back up from this because the call is to have Urel push top. There is an excellent sleep dart to stop the advance of Simplicity. Jake, how the heck does Simplicity find their way back into this game?
It's going to be tough. I mean, bottom lane, they got the single tower. That's a lot more experience, just boosting them towards 16. 16 advantage is absolutely going to be present when it comes to this next shrine. So, yeah, I don't know. Cleanly Claim Hyperion with Malphil maybe getting like the best play of his life. Zuna's got to play out of his mind to set up a big fight for this team. And it's gonna be a challenge when the bunker exists as a defensive resource during all of that.
Level 16s just on the horizon for Scythe Esports, and that makes things even more difficult for Simplicity. That means that they have to fight down a talent tier or just give up the objective, neither of which are things that you want to do, especially considering the nature of Simplicity's composition. Mid is being the focus point here for Scythe, but they're not going to really be able to get too much off of that. It's just controlling these minion waves, waiting for the next objective.
I love this. I love this. I love this.
They
push it out. They see Malphil still in the top lane, and they're just going to take the wall down. This is tragic. A free wall coming in, 16 advantage. They're not going to push onto the keep. It's too risky, but this is still value for this next shrine.
And that means if Simplicity can't get...
Oh, they're going in.
This is huge, and this means if Simplicity don't respond to this, this next Punisher could be onto a naked keep or a low keep or no keep whatsoever.
Okay, so they got to be careful.
K1.
King Caffeine does have the potential for a huge flank here. Nintori is the target. Howling Blast connecting onto 2. Hyperion being cast, but Bunker to be used to retreat in this point. Zaynite has a great positioning to do exactly that. Locking half the members away, but they make it through. Horrify coming through. Goodbye, Malphil. The double kill. Cleansing trying to heal them back up, but they're going to turn around and grab themselves a keep.
This is another follow-up. There's the healing reduction, and down goes Raynor. That is a 3 for nothing. Tiger JK gets done. Zaynite finds it. Is this it for Scythe Esports, Jake?
The march begins. They'll burn through these minions. They have another wave just behind to help tank the core. They're going in 20 seconds on half the team. Malphil's up in 10. Arthas is up in 10, but they're committing to the push on the core. If Scythe destroy it here, they will take the spot and advance to HGC, but yes, they're not taking the risk.
Wise choice indeed, because this next objective is going to be on the core by itself, and Simplicity simply don't have the time to hit level 16. So Scythe Esports get to push up with this objective, with the 16 advantage, and this is basically a condition where Scythe Esports need to make a mistake in order to lose this game. Simplicity have to force a fight. There's nothing that they can do here.
No risks. They're going up, they're tapping the well, they're making sure that they're nice and healthy going into this fight. That's a resource their opponents won't have regardless. They have 16 advantage, they've got a 2-level lead, they've got catapults marching down this bottom lane. A lot of nice advantages, just taking it slow.
Yep, Fear is up in 5 seconds. King Caffeine is looking for this flank.
Bunker is ready as well.
Advantage, folks.
10 seconds on the Hyperion, 10 Hyperions on the cleansing. Big jet propulsion going in. K1 Pro taking a ton of damage. The Horrify, not what we want to see, but Zuna does go down. Without Zuna here, without 16, I don't think they can take this fight, and they get the double kill. Nesper retreating back to safety. Tiger JK getting evaporated by that damage.
He goes down as well, and on the backside of that fight, King Caffeine is running away for his life, but it doesn't matter. Frozen Punisher, 3 dead for Simplicity. Have Scythe Esports done it?
This is the push, a 3-level lead with a Frozen Punisher. The keep is down. The core is wide open. They're going to try to end it here. Resources for defense. Just Ardent Defender for that Urel going in, but the Cleansing Flame as a response going to be tried to be used, but the shields are going down so fast, Colin.
This is so huge for Scythe Esports. The core shield is down. The Punisher is pushing in, Jake.
Trees?
This is so massive.
Oh, the lifesteal on the minion, keeping Trees alive. Ness becomes the focal point, but they get the kill on Arthas. Yes, they lose him, but the core is at 40%. They're pummeling it down.
Scythe!
The Punisher is healthy, and Scythe Esports have taken the spot in the HGC.
GG, baby. Scythe Esports take it. Absolutely brilliant performance. They saw this double support draft. They run the Ana. We talked about how powerful this Ana was going to be in this situation. So much heal denial, so much safety. You can never get onto Ana. She's going to be old in the backline forever. Like, that was such a free game for Ana. Scythe Esports dominated in the draft, and it started out, in that entire game. They contested. Yes, they lost that first objective, but they were up in XP. They stayed cool, calm, collected, and they find the dub.
Playing their own style, playing their own drafts, baiting their opponents into drafts that simply don't work against what they have planned, and truly deserving their spot in HGC. They showcase that perfectly in that series.
At the same time, long-term reign here for some of these members of Simplicity, and going down in this game is huge. It means you're no longer in the HGC, of course. That's just that's the cold hard truth that we have to face. However, lots of talent still on that Simplicity squad. And as we know, with many regions, there can oftentimes be roster shuffles. So I wouldn't expect some of these members of Simplicity to be out of the HGC for long.
Right, there will be vacancies. Even before this, before we saw Simplicity go down, Zuna had mentioned that he was planning on taking a break anyways. So there would have been a vacancy there. We have no idea what it's going to look like after that. But Scythe Esports, some new blood earning their spot. That's one team from North America and one team from Europe breaking through.
And it's that story of working your butt off through the open division and just playing time after time and just never giving up, staying with that same squad and just perfecting individual play and your team play. Scythe Esports is the team to watch. They grinded and they made it, and it's absolutely fantastic, and congratulations to them. Absolutely amazing performance.
Yeah, we're going to be looking to chat with someone soon, but you just got to give so much credit to the way that they played the game. Obviously, we've harped on about the Ana a little bit. Even the Lucio running that reverse amp, it's totally different, and they're just not willing to conform. And honestly, North America in the past, in a lot of different situations, they would just follow the front runner, right? Whatever team, whatever they're playing that's winning the most events, teams would just kind of evolve and adapt to play in that same kind of play style. And I'm out of breath because I'm so hyped right now, because that has not been the case when it comes to Scythe at all. They're so willing to just try new things, tinker, dabble, and evolve themselves. And in turn, they're going to evolve the meta.
Yep, I absolutely agree. We were a little bit critical of their choice of opponent. And I think that was justified. I really do. However, the fact that this was almost a dismantling, 4-2, you've got this 10-3 victory here on this last game in terms of kills, big leads. We saw a 5-level lead at one point. It was...
That's insane.
Yes, it almost unheard of. It was absolutely massive. So I think that Scythe, while we may have been a little bit critical of their choice, proved us wrong, which is great.
They proved the world wrong.
Yep.
Absolutely. Could they have beaten No Tomorrow? Probably, honestly. No Tomorrow, they're staying in HGC, but Scythe are coming. They're going to be challenging all of these teams. And they're not the first. We've always kind of compared them to Heroes Hearth. Heroes Hearth plowed through Open Division and then shined in HGC. And you can see the hunger that exists in these players. The commitment they're putting into the game seems to just be that of a team that could quickly advance into the top 4 of the standings, in my opinion. And we have Nesper joining us here on call. Nesper, my friend, congratulations.
Thank you. How are you guys doing?
Oh, dude, we are doing great because we just got to watch some incredible Heroes of the Storm. But, months and months and months of hard work pay off. The mega generic question, what is the first thing you're going to do to celebrate?
I don't know, man. I haven't had any alcohol in a year, so I'm probably going to do some of that. I don't know, man. I'm out in Edmonton because Sim's home server is West, and my ISP back in Toronto has a routing issue to West, so I have like 160 ping. And that was like the biggest reason why people weren't expecting us to pick them, because everyone knows I have a really, really bad ping issue to West.
Oh.
So I'm out here with my teammate over here, Zane Hyde, over in Edmonton.
We won. I still can't believe we won. Like, I had shivers after that.
He's freaking out. He's freaking out. I don't know, man. It feels great.
Now, we got to talk about the Sergeant Hammer game. Was that like a deliberate bait where you guys were planning on picking Chromie against it the moment they grabbed Hammer? Because it just looked so decisive on your half.
Yeah. I think the only thing outside of, like, we were waiting the entire series for first pick Dragonshire, but outside of that, Chromie was the only other thing we've prepared, like exclusively prepared, was Chromie. Because, I mean, from everyone's knowledge, like, we didn't have a Chromie player. I picked it up in like the last 2 or 3 weeks as a response to Hammer, because we know Hosty loves Hammer. It's like one of his favorite heroes.
Right.
That was really it.
No, that was beautiful. Unbelievably cool to see it be that strong as a response.
Yeah. I think the only thing was, like, I'm still really iffy on the Chromie positioning, and I'm like a bye-bye one trick. So I always take bye-bye.
Oh, no.
And this game, team was like, all right, you got to go block. You're going to die. I'm like, but guys, how do I bye-bye? How do I leave? And I died a couple times, but it's all good. We won.
You sure did win, man. And as one Canadian to some others, I'm not going to say congratulations because I say that to everyone. Man, just way to hustle, buddy. Like, way to just figure it out and make it happen for your team, right? But my question to you was, can you just give us the whole story on choosing Simplicity over No Tomorrow? There's speculation here, there's speculation there, but I want to hear it from you.
I think, so number one was, I don't think they would be expecting it. But I think the biggest reason, like, team's going to flame me for this, but huge shout out to Jin, man. Jin has been incredible on offlane. The role swap itself was actually terrifying, because we went from bodying them in scrims, like, from the start of the season, to Jin plays offlane and we go from like a 90% win rate to 10%. And it just seemed like an obvious choice to us. Yeah.
Cool. And yeah, obviously we all knew that there must have been some sort of inside knowledge that you guys had, of course, to make that decision. But you know, we were pretty critical of it. But I'm really happy to hear that sort of, you know, inside scoop. So thank you very much for sharing that. Aside from that, was there anything else that you guys did in preparation for this series? Did you think that maybe Simplicity stepped it up a little bit? Like, what are your thoughts on that as well?
For sure. But I think another big thing is, if they didn't have, or if they got to play Psystorm, I don't think they would have prepared as hard. So us hiding the knowledge of us picking them was a really, really big deal, I think.
Oh, word.
And I don't think they had enough time to really prepare. And we'd spent, like, I think all season, pretty much, we've been scrimming. Actually, the only 2 HGC teams that we didn't regularly scrim were Tempo Storm and Heroes Earth. So we played everyone else for the entire season.
That's fantastic, man. I have no further questions for you. Just, again, congratulations to you and your entire team.
I actually do want to pick your brain on where you think Tyrande stands in the meta, and double supports in general, but namely Tyrande, because you guys were snap banning it every single game.
There's actually a really basic thought process behind that. We can't play it. That's it. We can't play the hero. It's really good, and we play poorly into it. So I'll just lob it every game, and it's a ban we don't have to think about.
Fair enough. Well, the floor is yours. Any shout-outs you'd like to make, my friend? Congrats once again.
I'm just going to have to stand up for a second, but shout out to my boys over at Team Freedom. Thank you so much for the scrims. Thank you for the draft insight. Of course, shout outs to Octalysis as well. They've helped us a ton along the way. Shout out to my family back in Toronto. Shout out to Scythe, our sponsors, the Beard Club. Shout out to Zane for having me here out in the West. I'd be lagging out of my mind without it. So thanks for having me, guys.
Well, thank you for the amazing games, and congrats once again on all your hard work throughout this year. Looking forward to seeing you guys play in HGC next year. Bakala,
thank you.
That does it for us here at the Open Division for North America. Bittersweet.
Yeah.
What an awesome weekend of games we had, all 2 days of it. Best of sevens, going the mile for the most part.
I couldn't expect anything more from the whole situation. It was just so fantastic to cast these games. I have had more fun casting than I've ever had in my entire life. I tweeted out earlier, it's like, man, getting to do this, it's not work. It's just, I get to share my passion with everybody watching at home and with you. And it's just, it's all such a great environment and the story behind these teams. And man, it's all just so amazing.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to the HGC. It's been a treat to be part of the Crucible. We'll see you at BlizzCon in a few weeks. GG. Have the heal in time. Shields coming through from King Caffeine. K1 Pro now being focused, going to be condemned in and blown up. That's first kill of the fight. They need to try to find a kill on anyone, but just too much damage coming in. Zergling is on Hosty and turning for Leorg.
That's 52 gems, Jake. That is so many gems down for Simplicity. I talked about how important that is. That right there could very well be the nail in the coffin for Simplicity there.
They're going to, VP goes down. K1 Pro getting caught by the condemn. Not quite ready for the blast shield, but they get the double kill, and this could be game here. Top keep's gonna go down. Bottom keep has a sliver of HP left. Mid is low as well. Triple keeps could be coming up. All right, Zuna looking for the Dragon. Zainhide with the armor coming through from Whitemane. K1 Pro doing his best to get the damage in, and Nesper does end up going down, but Hosty is super squishy. Can he portal his way out of here? Finds himself a shield, but they get another kill on Whitemane. Hosty goes down. Dark Archon doing work from behind, but Zergling is in such a terrible position here. Locked down. Greyman on the other side of him. Talking Trees goes down here, and just like that, Simplicity, they managed to lose all 3 keeps, but win the fight. What can they do with it?
And the thing is, the actual Hosty just got annihilated.
Just dumpstered it in an instant. You can never underestimate the blow up of a Chromie Genji. Okay, K1 Pro, they're looking at Nesper. They want to force the fight right here, right now. The armor coming through, making the difference. The sanctification for the dive. Yes, Nesper goes down. Simplicity getting what they want. BFG doing a lot of damage. Last Right's crashing in on Zainhide, but it's not going to be enough damage. Lorenado keeping the fight going. Nintori's the focus. Down he goes, but Hosty's going to fall as well. Huge damage from the Dragon Blade, as we do see Tyrell trying to explode on Zainhide. K1 Pro is going to be able to get the kill in there with him. Trying to slip into the shadows.
He's a mega weeb right now. Talking Trees just killed absolutely everyone. K1 Pro sitting in the bush. Can he find the kill? The Shuriken coming out. This is a battle of ninjas here, ladies and gentlemen. Shuriken coming out.
Zuna.
It has started, ladies and gentlemen. Can Simplicity step in? Yeah, he's got King Caffeine here up on the top side to stop that from coming through. There's the damage, or the healing reduction. Zainhide on the front side has to be very careful.
Yeah, okay, Chromie does get the kill onto King Caffeine in the back. A little bit of damage from the explosion, but is it enough?
Zuna?
We do see Zuna stepping up, looking for the big damage on Zainhide. Last Right's coming through. Big damage finds the kill, but Zuna is now in a very tough spot. We do see that Lorenado trying to save him, but it's just not enough. Whitemane in the back, getting big kills. Oh, the damage onto Hosty on that Sergeant Hammer.
On this side flank, getting huge value. The fan coming through. Boom, bang, gets 2 kills. There's the timeout. Fantastic job by Nesper. Dragon Blade again. Talking Trees is not going to let Simplicity step in. There's another kill, another one, and Scythe Esports get that 5-man team wipe and pick up this altar. GG, Jake.
Oh my goodness.
This opportunity.
They're still clumped right now. Wolf connecting onto several members.
Big stun.
Jumping in. Big damage. They get the kill on Zuna.
Now, Talking Trees, does he back up? Right now, they are pushing in. Can they find Tiger JK? He is so low. Zergling getting that double stun. Nintori, the assassin Lucio, finds another kill, and Scythe Esports with 3 for nothing here. This is a keep.
Is very close to being Simplicity's, but it's irrelevant. This Khazor camp getting insane value. 3 members down for 30 seconds, and they're looking to end it, to retreat in this point. Zainhide has a great positioning to do exactly that. Locking half the members away, but they make it through. Horrify coming through. Goodbye, Malfail. The double kill. Cleansing trying to heal them back up, but they're going to turn around and grab themselves a keep.
This is another follow-up. There's the healing reduction, and down goes Raynor. That is a 3 for nothing. Tiger JK gets done. Zainhide finds it. Is this it for Scythe Esports, Jake?
The march begins. 10 seconds of the hype period, 10 periods of the cleansing. Big jet propulsion going in. K1 Pro taking a ton of damage. The Horrify. Not what we want to see, but Zuna does go down. Without Zuna here, without 16, I don't think they can take this fight, and they get the double kill. Nesper retreating back to safety. Tiger JK getting evaporated by that damage.
He goes down as well, and on the backside of that fight, King Caffeine is running away